Hello and welcome back to the Horse Racing Network with me, Izzy Phillips, and I'm joined, as always, by racing journalist and broadcaster Paul Auster and Jack Milner from Quiff. You're joining us for our last preview of 2025 because we're taking a look ahead to the New Year's Day racing at Cheltenham. We've been very spoiled over this festive period, haven't we, guys? Like, the racing we've had has been absolutely unreal.
Yeah, it has been an amazing holiday feast, really, of great racing, whether it be at Kempton, at Leopardstown, Chepstow, some terrific racing. So I think we've been spoilt, and hopefully it'll be just as entertaining at Cheltenham on New Year's Day. Some nice races to look forward to.
Absolutely. The weather there at the moment, the going is good and it's quite cold. It's a cold snap sort of hitting the UK. Luckily, Cheltenham don't look like they're going to be inspecting, and temperatures on New Year's Day at the racecourse should be getting up to around 7 degrees. So wrap up warm if you're going, but hopefully that will mean there isn't any frost. There is a little bit of rain in the forecast during racing from about 10 o'clock to around 5 o'clock at Cheltenham. So I don't think that anybody would begrudge that with good ground, but yeah, just a chance of rain, which might help a couple of these. But we're going to kick things off with the 125, which is the Betfair Handicap Chase. It is a Class 2. It's run over 3 mile, 1.5 furlongs, and at the top of the market, desperate to get a winner, is Old Die Waters. We've got Cat 8 Dory. We've then got Heracles Westwood, Jasmine de Grugy. Does he know? Obviously won that veteran chase last time. Inch House, Excello, New Order, and Shannon Royale. Jack, if I come to you first for this one, we've got a field of 8. Who takes your fancy here?
I really wish you didn't come to me first. I normally see what Paul fancies and copy him, don't I? It's a good recipe for success, to be honest, the last few years. It's a really trappy affair. A lot of these have kind of got muddling form lines. I was quite sweet on, I can't pronounce the horse, Heracles Westwood, the Greatrix horse. So I think he just got a little bit tired. It was over an extended 3.25 miles. A lot of this will be, for me, I just want to see what the ground's like. In a lot of these marathon contests, I don't mind horses carrying a lot of weight because they're kind of used to it, especially if they're pitched in at high levels. And for me, I want to see if Does He Know had the still had the fire in his belly. He's an 11-year-old now, soon to be 12 next week. Sorry, 10, soon to be 11-year-old. But I was really impressed the way he jumped around Haydock. He jumped before, and he's only gone up, I think, £6 for that for Kim Bailey and Tom Bellamy. And for me, yeah, he's carrying 12 stone. He's got a mark of 147, but he's ran in much stiffer grade than this before. And for me, just having a look at the prices, around the 6-1, 7-1 mark, he'd be the one that catches my eye. But again, a lot of it will just be, I just want to see what the ground's like tomorrow, first thing tomorrow morning.
I actually agree with you, Jack. I absolutely love Does He Know? Obviously, the fact he's a veteran, he's been around a little while, but he's won me some good money in his time, and I was really, really impressed. I know it was a veterans race, but I was really impressed with his performance last time out. I think he's quite a nice price. He has got a lump around top weight, but against this opposition here, I almost feel like he's faced tougher in the past. But I do think that he'll probably give a good showing at the prices.
But yeah,
And I don't particularly fancy any that are shorter in the market.
well, just to jump on that, he's carrying 12 stone, but he was carrying the same weight when he conceded weight around to win the Grimthorpe, I think, last year, the year before. That was in first time cheek pieces. That's kind of given him his second win towards the back end of the career. He's got the cheek pieces back on tomorrow. And again, I like Kim Bailey handicap chasers. We'll all have certain I don't know, things you look out for in your head in terms of certain. For me, Venetia Williams, handicap chase, right-handed soft ground. Handicap chase around Cheltenham, Kim Bailey carrying a lot of weight. Just my cup of tea.
Yeah, classy horses can carry weight, and Does He Know is a classy horse. So, Paul, do you agree with us? Do you like Does He Know, or are you going elsewhere?
Well, the pair of you have stolen my thunder because
No way!
yeah, I do like Does He Know. It's more a process of elimination, really, because the favourite's Catati Dore at about 11 or 4-ish, something like that. And he ran a very good race in the old Hennessy last time out. But I just think he's better on a flat track, and he's run twice at Cheltenham, and I think he's pulled up once and come second last on the other occasion. So I just wonder if maybe the track's not right for him. It's a ground thing, I think, for Heracles Westwood. I think the ground might be as fast as he would want it. Excello, I'm not sure about the trip. And similarly, Inch House hasn't 100% proved it, although he did run well behind Three Card Bragg at the October meeting. The one I think is a danger to Does He Know is Jasmine de Gruchy. If he stays, Anthony Honeyball is having a great time of things. And he ran a perfectly decent first run of the season at Newcastle behind Confusion, and that form has been franked from the rehearsal chase. So if he copes with the ground, and he has won on good ground in the past, but seems to be normally aimed at sort of good to soft or easier, I think he'd be the main danger. But I do agree with what both of you have said about Does He Know. I don't think it's an age thing. Kim Bailey, Matt Nichols are doing really well, and they know how to keep these terrific staying chasers sweet. And his win at Haydock, a slightly exaggerated distance, because I think he was left clear at the second last or the last, but he was still going to win, and he loves it round here. So he stays, he handles the ground, and he's in form. So Does He Know with Jasmine de Gruchy possibly as a saver?
Okay, so all three of us then on Does He Know in the one at 25 at Cheltenham. And then at 2 o'clock, we have the Betfair Exchange Handicap Chase. This one is over 2 mile 4 and half a furlong. We've got a field of 9, and that's topped by last time out massive prize winner Glenn Gooley. We've then got Twin Jets, won both their races this season, Just Over Land, Il Ridotto, Risk in the Ground, Granda Dan, Jungle Boogie, Moon d'Orange, and Matata. But biggest price is 14 to 1 on Matata. So this is a really kind of tightly packed field in terms of prices. Sort of everything's in with a chance. Paul, I will come to you first for this one. Glenn Gooley was obviously a very big surprise winner last time, about 30 odd to 1. Do you think he can do it again, or was it a fluke?
I don't think there was any fluke about it. I thought Sean Boehm gave him an absolutely superb ride from the front, but I think his rivals this time will be wise to it, and they'll be nervous about him getting too far away this time. So even though he's only gone up £3 and he's got a lovely low racing weight, I think he might just find one or two too good, but I'm sure he'll be thereabouts. This race includes one of my favourite horses of the last few years, and that's the top weight Jungle Boogie. Now, this horse is going to be 12 on New Year's Day, so he's a bit of an old timer. But without looking, do either of you are either of you able to say how many runs he's had in his career? Jungle Boogie.
I think I know, because I fancied the horse myself. He's only had about 8-9 starts.
He has. He's actually only had 7 over fences for a 12-year-old,
Yeah.
and I think the other 2 runs were in bumpers. This is a horse that has had so much talent. It was with Henry de Bromhead. I thought he might win a Gold Cup, and he actually finished 6th in the Gold Cup last year in 24 to Galopin de Champs, but he's so fragile. Still came out and won a great race at Ascot in last Christmas. He's won that New Year's Day chase. That Galopin de Champs has won in the past as well. So many good horses he's put in their place, but he's obviously a difficult horse to train, and it didn't work out for him at Cheltenham behind Factor File in the Ryanair when we last saw him. And he's moved to Venetia, which I suspect is one reason that Jack's maybe slightly interested in him, because maybe that change of stables might just spark something in this old boy, and they're keeping him going, which means that they obviously feel he's got enough talent, still rated 156. So I think he's a big price. And the other one in the race that I think is worth considering is Moon d'Orange, who's really well in at the weights in comparison to Risk in the Ground, and has run some good races here at Cheltenham before and won over the course and distance. So those are the two of the outsiders of the field that would interest me most in this race, I have to say.
I think I'm going to stick with Twin Jets for the Nichols team. They're in absolutely flying form at the moment. Obviously, they had the winner with No Drama This Way, but also, No Drama This End. But then they also had a winner on ITV with Olive Nichols, with Megan Nichols, obviously getting to interview her sister with Vera Flay. So I'm loving that the Nichols stable are firing at the moment. I think they're having plenty of big profile winners. And I'm hoping that this can be one for them on New Year's Day with Twin Jets. He's been, he's won both his races since coming out this season. The last time we saw him before that, he was actually pulled up, and that was around November of 2024. And he was just given a nice break, and he seems to have come back all the better for that. So I think that he could have a nice chance here. Jack, are you agreeing with either of us with good old Jungle Boogie or with Twin Jets?
Again, I just wait for Paul to put up a tip and I'll follow him in. The point of the Jungle Boogie is easily the most fascinating runner on the card tomorrow. The precociousness of this horse for a horse of age and relative starts of offences, but the fact he's running such stiff competition. Henry de Bromhead, again, you get these I don't know, not visualizations, but patterns in your head. Henry de Bromhead doesn't throw horses in to such graded company unless he thinks he's got a very good chance. And he's running a Ryanair, he's running a Gold Cup. A friend of mine was adamant this thing was a good thing for the Ryanair last year. The fact he's gone to Venetia. I don't have any issues carrying him top weight, 156. I think if he has retained any of his former ability, I would have no qualms about Venetia getting him fit and ready to go first time out. So the fact he's at a above figure price, I'm really surprised. The other one, again, of the same ilk is Matata, who's won around here, jumps really well. Finally going up to 2.5 miles with a realistic chance, right? I think she ran in the Mellin behind Protectorate and John Bond when she realistically was never going to win that race. But to run back in handicap company, she won off a mark of 155 at Windsor. I think the Winter Millions, whatever it's called. She's now run off 154. I imagine she'll get something of a soft lead, and she could easily steal this in the front. So the fact that they were 10 to 1 and 14 to 1, they're much more appealing to me than the likes of Glen Gooley and Just Overland. The race revolves around horses £10 out the handicap, right? I think Glen Gooley were £10 out the handicap when he won last time out, and likewise Just Overland, the Di Walters horse. The form has worked out well. The horse that he beat at Chepstow should have won it. I think Chepstow over Christmas, jockey unseated, I think at the penultimate fence. But fascinating run Just Overland if he can divide, being £10 out the weights, and good claim to take 7 off. But for me, Matata and Jungle Boogie easily the most fascinating run on the card tomorrow. And yeah, can't wait to just see him jumping a fence as opposed to spending most of his time out in the wilderness.
Okay, so hopefully somewhere within there we found you a winner of the 125 and the 2 o'clock, and that just leaves us with the 235. That is that Rel Keel hurdle. We've got a field of 6 lining up, a really good field actually. This race is run over 2 mile for half a furlong, and top of the market is the Skeltons with Cabral du Matin, obviously recently moved to the Skeltons, had their first run with them just the other month and moved away from Paul Nichols. Next in the market, you have got last year's winner with Lucky Place, and then you've also got another Henderson horse following that with Jinko Blue. Last year's second in here with Gal Road, and you've got the Real Whacker and Can Cenas as well in the field for Fergal O'Brien. So only 6, but I think 6 good horses. It could be a little bit of a tactical affair in some ways, because I think they're probably all going to want to get Cabral de Matin beat, because he was so incredibly impressive last time. Obviously was at Nichols before, showed what seemed to be a huge amount of improvement. But going up against last year's winner here, Lucky Place. Paul, who do you think can come out on top?
Well, the market has Cabral du Matin pretty long odds on at around 4 to 7. That's that's not a price I'd be interested in. I think this is in the best possible taste, as Kenny Everett used to say, and I mean that in a really nice way, as Dame Edna used to say. But I think this is a horrible race. I do. I just, from a punting point of view, you've got to try and consider whether or not a £14 rise is going to stop Cabral du Matin. Do we really think that Dan Skelton can improve a Paul Nicholls horse a stone? I don't know. Was he flattered? I know the runner-up, Andershan from Haydock, has come out and won since. So the form looks really strong, but he's just not a betting proposition. And then of the rest, well, Old Gowl Road, was second in the race last year. He'll run his race, but I'm not convinced by him. The Real Wacker isn't the same force over hurdles as he is over fences. Camsinas probably going to be outclassed at this level. Jinko Blue, again, not at all convinced by him. And by a process of elimination, I come back to last year's winner, Lucky Place. But again, I'm not happy tipping him because he's had 2 runs this season. Clearly hasn't taken to fences. He's come last of 3 and last of 2 in a couple of races over fences. And, they've obviously trained him and schooled him to be a chaser. He's going to have to go back to hurdles. So he might come alight again back at this track, but I would probably be saving my money as far as a bet goes. And I'll let you talk the rest of this race through, but there is one elsewhere that I think might be worth an interest instead of maybe taking this one.
Oh, that's interesting, because I was just going to say, do we need to look elsewhere? For me, I'll start piling them in on a muggy acca, just try and find something else to go with Cabral to Matan. But I do think I do agree with your analysis, really, in that Lucky Place and obviously Cabral to Matan, I do think I've got the best chance. I'm not convinced by the others. So a forecast, maybe cheeky reverse, just chuck it in there because Lucky Place might spring a win. What about you, Jack? What's your take on this race?
No big take. I think Paul's kind of summed that race up well. But the favourite probably should win based on his rating. He's getting £6 from last year's winner. Just it's not really the most appealing at 4 to 7. I don't like horses that kind of flip flop between chase and fences. I don't really understand what Nicky's thinking with Lucky Place and Jingo Blue. I thought Jingo Blue jumped quite well last season. He's a bit unlucky in I think it was at the Reynoldstown, the changing man one. So surprised to see him this year back over hurdles. So I'll echo your sentiments. I'd be looking for something to kind of double the jolly up. And for me, I think the best bet on the card on New Year's Day is Caliphate and Vol in the novice chase around 11 to 4 for the Seven Barrows team. Gets £5 from the Paul Nicholls horse that's won a couple of novice chases. Hasn't beaten anything in those races. I thought Nico gave. I'm kind of think, am I going to get sued? I thought Nico gave him a shocker on his chase debut. I thought he should have won that. The winner made all. He kind of got left a little bit flat-footed, and for me, I'd stick the Skelton hot pot in a double with Caliphate and Vol around 11 to 4 in the novice chase, and hopefully get a few quid that way.
Okay, well, there we are. We've got a little bit of a take on that. 2:35, that is that rail kill at Cheltenham on New Year's Day. Paul, you mentioned you've got some business elsewhere, so do enlighten us because I need horses for my acca.
Okay, well, here's my New Year's gift to you, Izzy. I don't normally play sort of relatively short prices. For me, as you know, my tipping is all about decent each way prices, and that's what my clients are interested in. But sometimes you see a price and you think, well, if I was a bookie, I wouldn't be so keen to lay that kind of a price. And the horse that interests me is at Musselburgh in the 2:15. Is a good handicap chase, and it's called the Kaluki Kid. Could have been named after me in years gone by. The Kaluki Kid, 2.5 mile. He's got his ground. He's got his trip. He's from a yard in form. And yes, you'll see his form figures last of 4 on his only run this season, but he was only beaten 4 lengths in the Colin Parker chase at Carlisle by Resplendent Grey and Handstands. And they're 2 pretty good horses. And he's not meeting anything of that class here. And it's a track that he likes. I have a feeling that he's probably had this race as his target ever since he had that run around at Carlisle where he shaped very well for a long way. So about 9 to 4. Top of the head.
That's very un-Paul Alster-like. Wow.
The Kaluki Kid. Yeah, that's the one for me.
Just looking through Paul as well, he ran in the manifesto, Ascot. That's very un-Nicky Richards like to pitch him in such company.
I think he's always thought this was a pretty decent horse, and yeah, I think he's going to run a good race. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, that'll be a first winner of 2026 for us. Well, before I sign off, I just want to wish everybody a very happy New Year, happy, healthy, peaceful, and profitable New Year, and stick with us, and hopefully you will be.
Absolutely. I couldn't have
So
said it
say
better
over.
myself, Paul. That is all we have time for on our New Year's Day preview. But we would like to wish you all a happy new year from the Horse Racing Network. We will be back in the new year with plenty of previews. Obviously, we'll be approaching the Dublin Racing Festival. We'll have a look at the Cheltenham Trials Day. We'll be taking a look, obviously, at the Cheltenham Festival, Aintree, all the good stuff going into the flat season as well. And hopefully get some winners for you across that as well. But happy new year, and we'll see you in 2026.